Hey everybody, on this episode of TTS Today, I'd like to introduce you to a new product we are offering, OrdrTrak. OrdrTrak will complement our total order entry and our TTS system. So let's head over to the OrdrTrak website and go over a couple of the features. All right, so welcome to the OrdrTrak website. And what is OrdrTrak? So OrdrTrak creates an efficiency for both suppliers and customers by providing order status information in real time through one connection. Customers can see order status information for all suppliers on one screen, and suppliers can efficiently connect to their customers and reduce the burden on their staff to provide order updates. So as you notice, this is the home page, and it gives you a little synopsis, which I just read for you, on what OrdrTrak can do for you. Going through the tabs at the top, we have a sign up screen. So if you want to sign up, you can just fill out this information, or you can always contact us directly. You can also provide a demo. So if you go to the demo tab, it gives you a Matt's direct line, and you can request a demo. It also gives you some screenshots of the system. Frequently asked questions. So this is really designed for manufacturers, distributors, sales reps, as well as end users and contractors. So about us, we'll just basically tell you about our total order entry system as well as our TTS system and a little history regarding TTS and where OrdrTrak came from. And then manufacturers will show you a list of the manufacturers that we are currently connected to. So again, these are manufacturers that have signed up, and you'll have the ability to track orders directly through these manufacturers. And last, we have our login screen. So once we go to login, I'm going to connect as a standard user for now. And you will see similar layout to our other packages. We have a menu on the left, and the body is in the center. We have the ability to collapse the menu screen. Tells me who I'm logged in as. So there are two types of logins. You can have an admin login or just a standard user. I'm going to connect it as a standard user right now. And the customer file, for instance, we have add edit customers. We could still go in and view these and update these customers. So this is a non-administrative task. But notice under vendor cross-references, again, we can go in and edit the cross-references as well as build them. And then under connected manufacturers, we show you the connected manufacturers, but you don't have the ability to actually change the connected manufacturer information, like the tokens or the specific number for that manufacturer. So that's the main differences. You don't have the ability to connect your vendors, and we've eliminated some of the other abilities, like users. You don't have the ability to add users. That would be the administrator's duty. So everything else, purchase order registration, OrdrTrak registration POs, OrdrTrak POs, PricTrak, StokTrak, SpecTrak, and Web-Trak, all can be done as a non-administrator. So let's start at the bottom. Log out, of course, is just logging you out of the system. User management. So like any other database, we have the ability to add users. In this case, as an administrator, you can create users and edit users. So if I wanted to create a new user, again, this is going to be a user in your organization. You just create a name, then you can give them their own login. And down at the bottom, you notice you can actually provide them with admin rights or not. So if we go back to users and edit users, you can see, for instance, I am connected as the standard Steve user, which is an administrator. And this is where you would reset passwords. So if a user forgets their passwords, you don't have to contact us. You can go right into the screen and type in a new password and update that password. Okay. And as you see, the required fields, first name, last name, phone, email, and title are all required. So moving on, we have a customer file. Again, you want to add customers, so to make the system work for you. So we have the ability to add and edit customers. Just like any other system, you can enter new data, or we can change existing data. So for instance, I have electrical supply house, If the address changed, I can go in here and change that and then update the customer. I can also delete that customer, but I also have the ability to add a new customer. So, and the only thing required for a customer file is a customer name. You don't require any of this other information. And then click save and you'd have a new customer added to the system. Moving on, under customer file, we also have the vendor cross-reference. So similar to sales analysis, we need a way to identify, right, the vendor with the system. So for instance, electrical supply house, jot that in here, and then you can add a manufacturer's code. So electrical supply house may have a specific code depending on the manufacturer. So for instance, FSC lighting, we already have a bunch of vendor codes added, and this gives you the ability to edit those codes as well as delete those codes. So for instance, the first one on here, 1232, is the specific code for FSC lighting for electrical supply house. And again, this makes it so the system knows what this customer actually is assigned to, because this name could be something that doesn't match up on their side, but this code will definitely match up. So another way of cross-referencing that is built into the system. And as the administrator, you have the ability to go in here and edit, add, as well as delete cross-reference files. And that is found under the customer file. So moving up to the top, now we go into connect to manufacturer. So a connected manufacturer is just that we have these 4 manufacturers that are connected. These are the ones listed in the original screen I showed you at the beginning of the video. So FSC lighting has a special code that they require, so we know that they're set up properly. So that's exactly what this is. 02100969 is specific to FSC lighting. Illumis has a word code, so next gen. So Signify and SLG both use a token to identify themselves. And notice that the tokens will expire. So after a certain time period, you would have to get new token. And by clicking on get new token, it will reassign or re-up a token for that particular manufacturer. Going down the line, I'm just going to briefly describe what these are, and then I'm going to show these in more detail in the next video. But purchase order registration. So once we get everything set up in the system, now we can start adding purchase orders. So these top 2 here, actually these top 3 are going to be a way to look up purchase orders. So the first one, purchase order registrations. Let's say you have a job as opposed to just a single purchase order. So for instance, you'll see the list here. We have big building, Hancock Tower. So these jobs are set up under a project name, which will allow us to track POs as a group. So by setting up a project name, you have the ability to group things. Similar to the project view that we have in TTS, if you've used that, it allows you to combine all your files, all your quotes, customers, a lot of information. So we do the same thing in this purchase order registration. Allows you to combine multiple purchase orders, for instance, under one project name. So then it gives you the ability to view this entire project with one click. What we're doing right now is we're assigning this purchase order. We can even assign it a value, assigning it to the manufacturer. If the manufacturer requires a customer, we would give you that ability, and this drop-down list will show you all the customers that we've added into the system. Now, OrdrTrak Registered PO. So once we register these, now we can view all these by dropping down these lists. So I can actually look at purchase orders that have been added in these previous screen or projects. If I wanted to see everything associated with Hancock Tower, I click on Hancock Tower, and it will show us all that information. And then again, I'm going to go into what happens once we click on Track It, but just wanted to show you the basis of the system. OrdrTrak PO. If you didn't register a purchase order, you could just go in here and type in that purchase order, manufacturer, customer, track PO. It'll give you that information. We also give you the ability to price track and stock track. So if a manufacturer has been registered with the system, down here under customer files of these connected vendors, you can check prices as well as stock. And I'm going to demo that in a later video, as well as specs. So we can actually get a list of specs and create a PDF, for instance. So a spec sheet per se, per the vendors that are set up in the system. And then the last thing will be Web-Trak. Web-Trak gives you the ability to use a web search in the system. So if I wanted to search for in a particular site, so notice here we have Southwire or Trade Tech Solutions. I can actually type any information I type in here, will just search Trade Tech Solutions for that information. So instead of using a Google search, that's going to give you information over the entire web. You may want to just search a particular manufacturer's website. So idea for industry or Nora lighting. So anything I type down here, whatever's showing up in here, will only show up from those specific sites. Now we can blank this out, and then you could just do a regular Google search. And we are using Google as a search engine to search the entire web. So it gives you a simple way to web search from within OrdrTrak. So that's a brief summary of what the OrdrTrak system can do. I'm going to go into more detail into more of these order tracking POs in the next video. So thanks again for watching TTS today, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.